Hi, hope you're doing well and welcome back. So, you just poured your heart into a new song and you're ready to send it to a professional to give it that final polish. But what if you're making a few simple mistakes that are frustrating your engineer, costing you time, money, and ultimately hurting your final mix? Today, we're going to go over the 5 most common mistakes I see, and more importantly, how you could easily fix them to get a better sounding song. This is the number one issue I encounter. I get a folder of tracks where the first instrument starts at the very beginning of the song, but then so do all the other instruments. This is a huge problem because I have to manually work out where and when each part comes in, and then drag every single file into its correct place, which takes up a ton of time, and it's not always obvious what goes where. Before you export anything, make sure your session is set up correctly. All of your tracks, no matter when they start playing, should be exported from the very beginning of the timeline. This ensures that when your engineer opens the files, everything lines up perfectly and they can start work immediately. Also, as a side note, include at least 2 bars of silence before the first instrument plays a note. Trust me, I'm very happy when I see this. If I open a folder and see a bunch of files named Audio 01, Take 2, Newest Vinyl Vox, or some other configuration, I have no idea what anything is. I have to spend time renaming every file and it slows down the entire process. Use a clear and consistent naming convention. I recommend a format like for drums. We got kick in, kick out, snare top, snare bottom, toms 1 and 2, floor 1 and 2, or rack 1 and 2, floor 1 and 2. If you've got more than one room mic, you could name them room mic 1, room mic 2, or room mic near, room mic far. Acoustic guitars, simply name them AG1, AG2. For electric guitars, EG1, EG2. Vocals, just use Vox, VOX. Background vocals, simply use BGV, and then a number after it. It's a small effort on your part, but it makes a massive difference. This is probably the most critical mistake. Remember the old saying, it's only as strong as its weakest link? Well, if you send your engineer a recording with a ton of background noise, a bass track that's clipping, or a sloppy played guitar, or the worst one, an out-of-tune instrument, these are things that cannot be fixed in the mix. There's no magical cure that can make it sound great. All they can do is try and make a bad recording sound as good as possible, which is never the goal. Take the time to make sure your recordings are the best they can be. Record in a quiet room. Make sure your levels are not even close to clipping. I record it around about minus 12 dB. Gives you loads of headroom. If something sounds off, re-record it until you're happy with the raw sound. A great sounding recording will result in a fantastic sounding song. Now, if all of this sounds a bit overwhelming and you're looking for professional help to take your music to the next level, I can help. I offer professional production, audio mixing, mastering, session playing, and even mix critiques. You can find all the details about my services and book a session direct with me on my website, www.stuartstudios.com. And if you want to dive even deeper, be sure to download my free guide on recording pro quality electro DI guitars to get your tracks sounding amazing from the start. You can get that guide right now at www.stuartstudios.com/guitars. This is one of my biggest pet peeves. I get a song where the guitar riff from the first verse is just copied and pasted to the second verse. Even if the part is exactly the same, a human performance has subtle variation and fills that make a song sound alive. When you just copy and paste, it feels robotic and sterile. Treat every section of your song like a new performance. Even if it is the same part, play it again. It's those little human variations that give a song character, emotion and soul. It's about respecting the art of the performance. This is a common mistake that can completely ruin a mix. A mix engineer needs to work with the raw, untouched audio to make their own creative decisions. If you send a vocal track with heavy reverb, the engineer can't change it, can't EQ it, can't really compress it. It just doesn't work. Always export your tracks completely dry. Remove all plugins, leaving only the raw, clean audio.
I'm breaking free. I'm finding my own way.
The only exception is if you have an effect that is absolutely integral to the sound. But you should always communicate that with the engineer first, and where possible, send the effect as a standalone track. So there you have it. 5 simple but crucial things you can do to make your mix engineer's life easier and ensure you get the best possible final product. Implementing these tips shows that you're a true professional and you take pride in your music. If you found this video helpful, please sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And let me know in the comments below what other music production mistakes you've seen, or what questions do you have? Alright, I'll see you next time. Alright, bye.